first, tell me, Vishal, about a short description about your education, about your experience, and currently which project you are working on.
So yeah, first of all, thank you to give me chance to introduce myself. My name is Vishal Sharma. I did MCA from Punjab, and after that, I have joined WebHelp as associate data engineer. I have been working with WebHelp past 2 years, and we are mostly using Azure Cloud like service, Data Factory, Data Lake, and we are uh, uh, using some language like SQL, Scala, PySpark, and Python to processing, and we are using Apache Spark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we start with the basic concepts, right? So it will be Apache Spark or MapReduce, HDFS. I think you are familiar with these technologies and terms, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Then tell me about the short description of Hadoop architecture, not a
S-
long one.
Okay. So basically, Hadoop architecture is what? So earlier, when Hadoop first version came, so we have two components. First is Hadoop for distribute storage, and for MR for distribute processing. So after that, what we felt that there is some kind of issue with Hadoop one version, like MR has to do lot of work. Sometimes they get bottleneck, and so to overcome this problem, they introduce new version 1.0 uh, for uh, for better optimization, and they introduce new component yarn. So half of the work is to shift to the yarn to managing the resource, all this kind of, and in this way we got some kind of better optimization as compared to previous one.
Okay. Do you know about how MapReduce is processing our uh, data on a daily basis? I mean, in the background. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, so map is basically there is two phase. One is map, then another is reduce. So map is always work on key value base. Like we have to give input as key value and output as key value. After giving the input to the map, then it will go to the reduce phase. In reduce phase, what they will do, that they will do some kind of aggregation, they kind of some kind of sorting. So after map phase, the data will shuffle to the reduce phase, so kind of some doing some work.
Okay. You mentioned about the resource management of yarn, right?
Yes.
And do you know any other kind of resource management tool that you have used in your project or you have heard of?
No, right now I have knowledge about yarn, so I am not using other.
Okay. And what is the name node and data node? So these explain me these concepts and also tell me the difference between them.
Okay, so basically Hadoop architect is that there is a master and slave node. So name node is master, and we have data node for storing the data. First, it will name node is just for storing the metadata of name node, data node, where is data stored, and all of this kind. And the actual data is stored in data node. Name node is just handling the metadata of data, where is on this block, what is data is stored. So in order to we firstly talked about then we firstly go to the name node, and name node will check the metadata table where the exactly data is stored. Then it will fetch from the data node, and then it will show the.
Perfect. What is the shuffling in MapReduce?
So shuffling means in MapReduce. So means we have to shuffle the data in various partition. Let's say we have to we perform a action, and after action the data shuffle from various executor and go into one executor. So this is shuffling.
So basically, after doing the mapping transformations, we need shuffling in our reduce phase, right?
Yes, yes.
So once we do the reduce phase and the data is shuffled now. So tell me, what is the next process of this to get a ultimate output?
Can you please come again?
So basically, you are doing a shuffling in your map reduce phase, right? So
Okay.
in during mapping and all, after that we need for aggregation to distribute the data to our all the partitions, right? That's why we do shuffling, right?
Yes.
So after shuffling, what should we do to get the output of this data?
So after the shuffle data, the data is going in reduce phase. We have doing some kind of aggregation like join group by. So after the reduce by, we got the final output.
Perfect, correct. Can you tell me the Apache Spark architecture?
Yeah, sure. So I will start from the basic, like what we have problem in Hadoop. So in Hadoop, we have the main thing is that if we have to perform series of operation, means we have to perform various kind of operation. So first, in case of Hadoop, what in case of Hadoop in Hadoop we are talking about MR, not Hadoop. We are talking about MR. So what MR is do, it will read the data from the disk for your processing, and after the processing it store back to the disk. So means if we have 10 jobs and we have to perform series of jobs, so it required 20 operation, mean 20 input output, 20 time it's reading the data, and every time is storing get back to the disk. What in case of Spark, Spark is in memory general purpose compute engine. In memory means if we have series of data, what Spark will do, Spark is just take the data from disk, it will do processing, it will hold that data. After the all the job is done and processed, so it will write back to the disk. So mean if we have 10 jobs, only we require two operation, one is input then one is output. But that is the not case with Hadoop. And another is that general purpose. Earlier, we in Hadoop environment we are using Pig for data cleansing, SQL for data ingestion, Moth for knurling. So we have to learn different kind of tech stack to deal with that. But in Spark, we have to learn only one kind of programming language, just Apache Spark, and we can do all this kind of stuff with one style of programming, programming code. So like that. And general purpose mean Spark is play and plug device. We can plug into, we need two resources. First is resource storage, and then is yarn for resource manager. So that is the explain about the Spark.
Okay, you have mentioned the resource manager, right? So can you tell me the difference between the resource manager and the application master?
So resource manager is to managing the all kind of resources, means to dividing the work among the cluster. And application master is uh, uh, application master. So right now I am not able to recall it. Application master is what. So I will
Okay,
check.
okay. No issue. So basically, resource manager executes our jobs in our from our master node to executor nodes, right? So application master is something which is needed to create in every container, so that it will be a local resource manager for all our executor nodes. So this is the basic difference. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
good. Okay, so tell me about the definition of or the concept of RDD.
So the basic hold means the basic unit that hold data in means in Spark the data is held in RDDs. RDDs just as resilient distribute data set means, and data is stored in RDD means in various partition. If I talk about first is resilient, what is mean by resilient? So resilient means we are able to quickly get back from failure. Let us suppose you did a lot of transformation, RDD1, RDD2, RDD3, and after and suppose you lost RDT 3. So how we can get back all this transformation? So what what this Spark will do. This is done by the lineage graph. So Spark will again regenerate the apply all the transformation to the parent ID, and it will regenerate the RDT4 that is lost. And distributed means it spread across the cluster, and
Hmm.
it is across the cluster. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Do you know about the different stages? Like, if you are creating a particular Spark job, and what is the factor of like creating the stages? And I mean, if you create a particular Spark job or any MapReduce job, and how many stages will be created? So this factor depends on which factor of your transformation on operations.
Okay, so the stages are marked by shuffle boundaries. Let's
Mhm.
suppose we are using three wide transformation. We are using transformation. So if we are using three transformation, so it will generate three stages. But we have total four stages because first stage is already created. Then we are doing some transformation, three transformation. Then we will get four stages here.
So basically, we are talking about transformation means there are two types of transformation, right?
Yes,
Which
yes, yeah.
one we are talking about in this number of stages creation?
We are talking about in wide transformation, like
Correct. Okay, got. Suppose you have created a 500 MB file data frame, okay, or in a simpler way, you are creating a MapReduce job of 500 MB data file. So according to our by default partition size, which will be 128 MB, right? So if we create a particularly 500 MB data file or MapReduce job, how many partition will be created there?
so partition depend upon the what is the default size of our clusters. Means if we have 28 128 MB of our cluster size, so it will divide uh, to 128 to each cluster. Around it would be around 4 to 5 means four partition.
Correct. So it will be depend on suppose like if when we are talked about 500 MB file, if it is a 100 MB file, then how many partition will be created?
It is only just one.
Are you sure? Not because if you create a particular file of 100 MB, there is a concept of default partitioning. Do you know that?
Default partition. So means if our cluster size is 128 MB, so if the
That
data
is
is
that is the block size, right? That is
okay,
the
yeah.
120 MB is the block size of the partition, right? So if we create a 100 MB files, which is less than 128 MB, right? So at that time, it will be always going for the default partition, minimum partition, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
do you know how we can check the default minimum partitions?
So we can check RDT dot get num partition by we can check our partition, how many partition of
No, I am talking about default minimum partition. By default, it is the minimum
divide
partition.
default is 200 means if we talking about 200 partition is there.
No, the 200 is the shuffle partition. We are talking about default partition. So for Spark or MapReduce, it is always 2.
Okay, two.
Okay. Do you know what is the difference between the count by value and reduce by key?
So reduce by key is a basic transformation and count by value is action.
Hmm.
And reduce by key always work on value part.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can we use instead of reduce by key count by value? Can you replace our transformations?
No, we cannot replace because let's suppose you are doing some transformation and you are using reduce y key
Mm-hmm.
between your transformation. So reduce by key generate another RDT, means we can do further transformation. But in case of count by value, if you use count by value, so it will generate a local variable that we cannot use further as in distribute manner. So that is the main thing
So
here.
basically, count by value is an action, right?
Action,
And
yeah,
reduce by key is an transformation, right?
yeah, transformation. Yeah.
Okay. Any type of optimization technique you have used during your day-to-day Spark job executions or optimization?
Yeah, I have used partition and partition bucketing and broadcast and joins.
Okay, can you
And
explain broadcast joint? Uh,
so broadcast join, basically we can create a shared variable that if let's suppose we have to do join, so
mhm,
we have two files. For one file is big, another file is small.
mhm.
So what we can do, we if we have to we if we want to achieve a performance gain, so we will create a broadcast variable, means whatever is small file we can create a broadcast variable, and then we can broadcast it to all the executor. Means why doing this, we can reduce amount of shuffling. There is no shuffling is required because the data is in each executor. So we can do the join in this way, so we can gain performance gain here.
Suppose like you are trying to do these kind of operations, right? Bot broadcast joining and all, and you have seen that the both the data sets and the both the data files are completely in a same size, or maybe it is a very big size. So how do you optimize in this situation?
So in this situation we can use a short merge join, yeah, bucketing join, we can say that.
No, bucketing join. Okay. Like you have implemented broadcasting while
Okay,
you have a one table is shorter and one is larger, right? So you broadcast the shorter table or the shorter data set to the all the executors. But suppose like both of them are completely big and it is a very cost effective operation to broadcast your one of the tables or one of the data frames. So how do you handle this situation?
in this situation, if the both the table is large.
Yes, both the
Okay.
table are large.
So, so in this we can go as in normal way that we are using. So we have to use shuffle here.
So I'm asking you about the to avoid the shuffling, for avoid the shuffling and for optimizations, right? So if you cannot do a broadcast join, so what should I do? Like we have both the tables are enormous and we cannot save it to a particular table to cache, right?
Okay.
So in this situation, what should you do?
So firstly, we will we can do, like we can filter the data. Means earlier we can do some filtering, and after that we can join. So in this way we can get some kind of optimization to reducing some amount of data.
Okay. Do you know what is predicate pushdown?
Yeah, predicate push down. Yes, yes.
Tell me about it.
So predicates push down means whenever you're writing any job on Spark, so firstly it will do the predicates push down. Predicates push down means it will filter the data earlier rather than uh, later, because what we will get earlier, that it will filter lot of data, and we are sometimes we are using the data is not required and we are doing shuffling. So Filter is just to means filtering the data in above stage, so we can get uh, data less data, and we can go with good operation.
Okay. Do you know how to remove duplicates from a particular data frame?
Yeah, we can simply use df dot duplicates, df dot drop duplicate, sorry.
Drop duplicates. Okay. And there is another method which we need to use before drop duplicates, like if we need to consider all the columns, right? For this, which method should we use?
in uh, in PySpark.
Yes, and PySpark.
Means we have to use another method rather than drop duplicates.
So drop duplicates do that on a particular subset of columns, right?
Yes, yes.
And for mentioning all the columns, if we don't want to do a distinct on this data frame, so that it will also this distinct operation also give us the particularly removal of duplicates from a data frame, right?
So in this way, what we can do, we can create a replace and temp view for this database, and we can use Spark SQL to deal with duplicates.
Okay, okay. Can you please tell me what is the difference between partitioning and bucketing?
So partition and bucketing means both have same purpose. Means let's suppose we have a table, and in table we have a data like employee name, first name, last name, and address and state in his living. So what we can do, so we can choose one particular column that we have low cardinality of data, means we have distinct value less. So on that column we can do partition, means it will create a folder. Let's suppose we have a 10 state in our data, so it will create a folder state by each state, and it will create a folder, and it will copy the data into these folders. So in this way we can do the partition. And bucketing is just bucketing sorry yeah. so bucketing, in other case we can say that uh, so if we have, suppose if there is any no column that we have a low cardinality data, we have employee ID, name, first name, last name, so like that. So in this case what we can do, we can do not go with partition, because partition work with low quantity of data. In this case we can go with bucketing. So bucketing is what bucketing is do. So bucketing is we have to define number of bucket we required. If we need 4 bucket, we have to specify we need 4 bucket. And according to this we can divide our data into different buckets. So bucket we can say that is a file, and partition we can say that it is a folder.
It is a directory structure, right?
Yeah, directory structure.
Correct, correct. So basically, we are using partitioning when we have a low cardinality value on the
Yeah,
column, we are
column.
filtering the values. And
Yes.
whether we have a high cardinality value or the number of distinct values are high, so that we will be using the bucketing clause, right? Perfect. Can you, Vishal, can you share your screen so that I want you to write something, the syntax in PySpark and all. Share your
Okay.
screen, open a particular notepad. Let me tell you on this one. Okay, and let's start with the SQL one. Okay,
Okay.
so basically, in a you have to write the particular, not the particular perfect syntax, but the logic will be correct. So we will be go ahead with the same kind of syntax or logic. Okay, so you are comfortable with SQL joins and all, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, suppose you have two tables. Write it down like there will be column like ID, name.
T1, okay.
No, just mention the as a table structure like ID, first column
ID.
ID, yeah, then name, then manager ID. Okay, so firstly the value will be 1, and then the, yeah, 1, the first column row 1, then name will be Vishal, and then comma, separate these values using commas, yeah, before Vishal, yeah. So manager ID will be like any integer values like 3. So put this value again, like ID will be 2, name will be Suman, manager ID will be 1. Okay, the next row, row number 3,
Yeah.
ID will be 3, name will be like Vicky, yeah, Vicky, and the manager ID will be 2. Okay, and another row added like 4, Sam, manager ID will be 1. So by these table, if you have given this table, so write a query to count the reportees under each manager and print me the name of the manager which has the highest reportees. You got my question, right?
Yes,
Like
yes, yes,
we have a ID, name and manager ID. Each person has a manager ID which will be the same of ID, right?
yes, yes.
And count the number of reportees for each manager.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
select. Firstly, I will do select. So this is, I will consider table one. Okay,
Okay, sure.
this is employee. Okay, so e dot manager ID is equals to m dot id m dot id. So we will get okay. Okay, manager means 3 is here and it will match id 3. So we will get we have to count number
Reportees of each manager.
of each manager. Okay, report is for each managers. Okay, each manager ID is here. Okay, first it will do it will like 3 here, 3, 2 and 1. The vehicle Vishal Saman and Vicky. Okay, we will get Vishal Saman and Vicky. Okay,
You can tell me the approach if you are not comfortable with the syntax and all. You can tell me the approach how you will solve it.
no, I am comfortable, no problem. But
Okay.
I will get 1, 2, 3 here. Manager. I guess this would be the solution.
Okay, can you explain this?
So firstly, it will do the self join. So it
Mm-hmm.
will take e-table, e-table manager ID. So it will match first just like three we have, and it will match with m.id. We have m.id this. It will match this and this. So we will get Vishal. Like that, it will match one and one and two and two. So
Okay,
after that, it will group by manager ID. So like that, we have a three. Okay, three, one and two. So it
okay.
will group by manager ID.
But here you have mentioned, right? You are doing a self join. There are two tables. One is T1E and another is T1M, right? Employee and
Yes.
manager. But you are grouping by which manager ID?
Oh yeah. Okay. M dot manager ID.
M dot manager ID. Okay, by grouping this, so first you are counting star, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so by group by clause, if you mention any of the column name in group by, you have to mention in the select statement, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So group by manager ID. We have what manager ID. Now this
This one, can you explain this? Okay. So you are doing a count of m dot manager ID, but still it is a aggregation, right? But you have to mention the manager ID because you are mentioning in group by clause. Like this will always throw an error because it will be throw an error that the column which is included in the group by clause, it is not mentioned in the select statement. So it will be like m dot manager ID, right? If you are mentioning in group by.
yes.
Okay. Okay. And if you want to uh, print the name of the managers, what should we do?
Uh, we can take from any of the table. Yeah.
Like like
E dot.
this is the operation you have done. So no, you cannot include e dot name because you have not mentioned this to your group by clause, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let me give you another one. I think I can ping you, right? Yes. I'm pinging you one table, okay? This
Okay.
one. Just copy this to your notepad. So this is a student table, right? And this is the student name in the student column, and this is the class name. Okay. So
Yes. Yes.
write a solution, like write a SQL query to find all the classes means class names that have at least 5 students and print the table in any order. No issue.
At least five student. Yeah.
Yes, I mean in this table, what will be the result? Because math, see, the first row is math, second is English, again is math, right? So at least five means English has only one occurrence, biology has one occurrence, computer has one occurrence. So I want a output of the class name which will be math by default, that because it has more than five students, because it has
Yes,
six students, right?
yes,
So
yes.
yeah, write a query on SQL on this.
So, okay, what we can do? Select class student. By class. We are grouping class having count of having count student greater than 5. Suman,
Yeah, tell me.
eh, so first we can group by class. So we have means math, English, biology, and computer will come in one sequence,
Mm-hmm.
and after that we are filtering by count of student.
Okay, okay, good. Sure, okay. And so we have talked about some of the MapReduce jobs and Spark. So we can now shift to Azure. So can you tell me which kind of services you have used, like apart from Databricks and Data Factory? These kind of uses, these kind of things you have used, right? You mentioned.
Yes, yes.
So apart from Databricks and Data Factory, which services you have used?
So we have used like Delta Lake. Also, we have used ADLS Data Lake.
Okay. And what is the difference between the blob storage and a DLS Gen 2?
So ADLS Gen 2 and block storage. So ADLS is work on the top of blob storage. In blob means we have the three kind of storage. First is block, block, page
Mm-hmm.
block, append block. So in blob, we store our data. Like we can store our data, and in our uh, page block, we can store some kind of VM files like HVDN files we can store, and in the append block, we can store some kind of logs of our files like there is kind of log, and ADLS Gen 2 is work on the means it is data lake, it work on the top of Azure blob storage.
Okay. But what is the difference? Like if we have used blob storage in our project, and but the client needs a particular ADLS Gen 2 support. So can you tell me the basic difference between them, a blob storage and ADLS Gen 2?
So in blob storage, ADLS Gen 2, we can store different kind of data like we can store structured, semi-structured, or unstructured data.
Mm-hmm.
And in blob storage, we can also store this kind of data. Mm,
Okay, no issue, no issue.
yeah, I'm not able to
Do you
recall
know?
right.
Do you know? Yeah, no, no issue. Do you know what is availability set in Azure?
Availability means in term of Databricks or
Azure Cloud Storage.
adult cloud storage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you asking about that is LRS or ZRS like that?
No, like we have in Azure VM, right? in Azure virtual machines, we can create some of the templates while creating a particular virtual machines with particular configurations, right? Okay, no issue.
So system
Mm,
ability means the system should be available. Means if we want to access data, uh, we can system should be available. Mm, Means if we are not getting latest record, that is fine. But system should be available to generate some kind of result there.
okay, okay. Do you know how to run a particular Databricks notebook from another notebook?
Yeah, we can use this run command. We can
Which command? Can you write it
man
down?
command. We can percent run that we can give the path of the file where it is present.
Can you show me the syntax? I mean, which command you will be using? You
Uh,
can type it in your chat or in your notepad. You can share your screen, or you can type it on a chat also. No issue. Yeah, yeah, sure. Which command
so
you will be using while running a particular notebook from another notebook?
yeah, so this is a magic command that we can use, and after that we can give a file path, means where our file is located, path of the file.
Do you know what is the mount point in ADLS
So
Gen 2? Or
mount is just I have knowledge about basic mount, but means it's just to link the I mean, ADLS sent over Databricks whenever we want to read the file. So in that like way, I have some knowledge, but I am not exactly have knowledge about what is mount to.
okay, okay. So how many types of file format you have worked in your Azure or in your data engineering?
So we work on CSV and Parquet and Avro and JSON. Sorry, ORC is there.
So which one of these are column based and which one of these are row based?
So uh, so means CSV is row based. Parquet is column based. Avro is also row based, and ORC is column based.
Perfect. Okay. Do you know the difference between the data lake and data lake house?
So yes, yeah. So I will tell you what is the picture behind that. So earlier we are using data warehouse for our ETL processes and for business and reporting layout purpose. So we felt there is some we always store data in structured way. We cannot store unstructured in data warehouse. There is a feel of we have to do something else, and then the a data lake came in picture. So we have data lake. So in data lake we means data warehouse not fully supported with ML operations and all this kind of operations. So and data lake we have all kind of, we can support ML operation, we can do, but in the data lake we have some kind of problem that it is lacking behind some acid compliant that we want to use. So on the top of that we have delta lake. So in delta lake it some kind provide acid compliance that is not provided by data lake, and it is provide another more
No,
feature.
I have asked you about the difference between data lake and data lake house.
So data lake house just to combine the data lake and data warehouse. This is just a combination of this is just a lake house, and data lake is a single lake that it is we store our data in structured and structured way. But lake house is to combine data warehouse feature plus data lake feature in a single unified environment.
So in data lake house, we have the ACID compliance to ensure the consistency of data, right?
No, in not in that way. That is in database means acid compliance is there, but not at fully supported.
But in data lake, do we have the acid compliance features
In data lake, yeah, Delta Lake.
in data lake?
So in data lake, we have not at fully compliant with acid compliant with not.
Okay. Okay. I think that's it. That's it, Vishal. You can stop sharing your screen.
Yeah. So any feedback from your side, Suman? How
Mhm.
was my interview? How should I prepare?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. More concentrate on syntax
Okay.
and the core concepts of Azure, and also more concept practice more on SQL queries and all. So it will be helpful. And also the PySpark and Spark SQL's commands or the syntax, how you would like to write a particular same problem in Spark SQL, in Spark data frame, and also in SQL, because the problems are almost same, right? The logic will be always same. Syntax can be different. So practice these kind of things. So it will be helpful for you. Otherwise, you have the concept and all is very good.
So is there any means I am using more word to explain things like that? Is you feel that there is a need on that? You should work on that.
No, actually, the basic concepts are clear. So just brush it up, like each and every concept. So like from RDT to Spark to MapReduce to, and then the advanced Spark optimization and all. So
Okay.
it will be good. Okay.
Yeah, Suman, thank you.
Thank you, Vishal.